What is up, guys? I'm Riley, Hudson Motors here to show you guys our 68 Wagoneer. This truck is absolutely phenomenal. One of my favorite trucks we've ever done. Want to give you guys a quick walk around and show you my 5 favorite things about our LS Swap Wagoneer. If you're watching this video after December 17th, 2021, we gave this truck away. And if you want to see who we gave it away to, go ahead and click the link in the description below. But let's go ahead and get into it. So I love full-size Jeeps. For those of you who are just stumbling upon this, Wagoneers are very famous. You know, there's a Wagoneer in This Is Us, and a bunch of other different TV shows, but they're all referred to as full-size Jeeps. And so that means Jeep J10s, Jeep Cherokee Chiefs, Jeep Wagoneers, Jeep J20s, the whole lineup of full-size Jeep that were made by Jeep for the longest run in all of their history. It started all the way back in like 1963 and went all the way to like 1991 or 92 or something like that. So super long vehicle run. They're all considered full-size Jeeps, and I absolutely love them. There's a million things I love about full-size Jeeps, but today for this video, we want to show you guys 5 of our favorite things. So my first favorite thing about it, and probably the most common question we ever get asked, is the power plant and why we chose it. So under the hood here, this is a GM 5.3 Gen 3 GM 5.3 LS based. We all call them LSs, even though they have all sorts of different numerations: LQ9, LK7, all that kind of crap. They're just called LSs. Let's do this. So this is a 5.3 out of like a Chevy Silverado, brand new rebuild, so probably 200 miles at the time of this video. It's been bored up to a 5.4. Has a stage 2 cam and LS7 lifters and rods. The thing is great. And people ask me all the time, you know, why didn't you stick with a Mopar engine? Why the LS swap? People ask that question. Number one, don't know full-size Jeeps at all. But number two, they tend to put the 2 and 2 together, that today, Jeep and Dodge, or Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, these are all one auto group today. So that back in the day, you would have had a Mopar engine in these trucks. And that's not true at all. This Jeep, built in 1968, was owned by Kaiser at the time. This is a Kaiser Wagoneer, and Kaiser got their engines for this Jeep from, you guessed it, General Motors. This had a Buick Dauntless 350, so already a small block V8 back in 1968. So they already had a GM power plant back then, so it makes total sense that today it's got another GM power plant. In 1974, Kaiser was sold and acquired. Kaiser sold Jeep. I think Kaiser went bankrupt or something like that, but Jeep was sold to AMC. AMC in 1974 started putting 360 V8s, 5.9 V8s in their trucks, in all of their full-size Jeeps. And so people tend to confuse the 360 with either a Ford 360 or a Mopar 5.9 gasoline engine, which is just also not true as an AMC. And even when Jeep was bought out by Chrysler in 1987, they still continued to use the AMC 360 until the end of the full-size Jeep's days in the 1990s. So it is not bastardizing to put an LS in it. It's a great option, and I love it. This thing runs like a top. It is a blast to drive. It's reliable. It starts good. It runs good. You can absolutely daily drive it because of that. Behind the engine, we have a 700 R4, so 4-speed automatic with overdrive, which is great. And shifts nice beautifully. It allows you to go to a freeway. And then the transfer case is a Dana Spicer 20, so it's a twin stick transfer case. Really cool passenger side drop. For axles underneath it, we've got the Dana 44s out of a 70s Wagoneer. This Wagoneer in the 1960s would have had Dana 27 weak little axles. So really mechanically a very solid, very awesome truck. So number 2, my second favorite thing that we've done to this Jeep is something that all of you can do to your vehicles. Actually, these tires. These are Milestar Patagonia XT tires, and for an on-road, off-road, kind of everyday tire, this is my favorite tire on the market. It is so quiet, you have no idea. It makes no noise on the road, almost like you're driving a passenger car. It's crazy, but it provides for excellent grip off-road and phenomenal grip in the snow. If you live in snowy conditions, I couldn't recommend this tire more. Freaking love them. I love the way they look. They're just aggressive enough, but because you know what, I think mud terrains on a daily truck kind of look a little too aggressive. So something like this on a daily driven pickup is my favorite tire. Love these things. They're the best. Moving on to number 3, my third favorite thing that we did to this Jeep is right behind these tires right here with the mirrors. Now you might be looking at these mirrors thinking they look pretty familiar. They are not off a Jeep. These are actually Ford Bronco mirrors. So 78 to 79 full-size Bronco mirrors. So this might be the biggest bastardization we have on the whole entire truck, putting Ford mirrors on a Jeep. But if you know these full-size Jeeps, they had the worst mirror options on planet Earth. You either got like some ridiculously massive tow mirrors, which are pretty cool on a bigger truck. Like if you're gonna build a big J10 or a big J20 on 35s or 37s, like those are cool mirrors. We've used those on another Jeep truck of ours. Or you got these tiny little, like size of a credit card, basically car mirrors. They were tiny and they were garbage as well. There's some other aftermarket options out there, like they make a mirror mount for like a first gen Cummins mirror that you can bolt to your door and then have the first gen Cummins mirror. They're terribly ugly. So I never wanted to run those. And then we built the Bronco, and I loved the mirrors. They held tight. A lot of times these tow mirrors, these older tow mirrors, are all loose and crappy. No, these hold tight. They hold their position. The ball joint is good in there, and they're really nice. So they look great. They're a great satin finish, and they're metal. They're not like pot metal or plastic. These are actually metal. Got these from Tom Bronco Parts, by the way. Great mirrors. I love them. They provide for excellent visibility, and they look great, and they fit in the truck. Nobody ever looks at them and says like, oh, what's with those goofy mirrors that are sticking out? So that is a big favorite. Okay. My fourth favorite thing about this truck is a couple of different things as well. It's all the technology that we put in to make this thing very daily driver friendly. Number one would have to be these Dakota Digital gauges. Dakota Digital makes the best aftermarket gauge for classic trucks on planet Earth. They're freaking awesome. This is actually their entry-level gauge, but it's the only gauge that they make for these older Kaiser Jeeps. If you've ever had an old truck, you know that most of the time the gauges don't work. You might have one, your fuel gauge might work, but your coolant temperature doesn't. Or your speedo works, but your tach doesn't. These are great because it all runs to one central computer. They're so easy to wire. Anybody who has a pair of wire snips and strippers could wire up Dakota Digital gauges. They're not difficult at all. So it all runs into one. You run power and ground and all your sensors into one main central box, and then the central box powers the screen, and it works flawlessly, like right out of the box. They're absolutely awesome. I can't recommend them enough. Number two would be this Vintage Air conditioning kit. This was the SEMA product of the year back in 2016, I believe. This is a great AC kit. If you want to put AC in your Classic and don't want to spend like 2,000 bucks on parts, this is like $600, all included with like the condenser, the compressor, and everything else for the AC. Like 600 bucks, and they're nice. It's got a nice mother of pearl faced finish. All the knobs and everything are included, so you don't have to worry about wiring up all of the switches, like the temperature switch, the blower, the fan motor switch, and all that kind of stuff. And so if you have a flat dash like this one does, the bottom of the dash is flat, it's a great option. And then number three are the retro sound Bluetooth radios. These are awesome. You know, a lot of people don't like the look of a modern radio in their Classic, so you put one of these in and you get Bluetooth radio, digital radio. They're great. And then we paired this radio with a dash speaker from Retro Sound. It's a stereo dash speaker, so it's one speaker, but you get stereo sound, and they actually sound really good. They make plenty of power, plenty of sound. They sound actually really good, and a little bit of bass too out of a single speaker, so they're pretty cool. All right, let's go see number five, my fifth favorite thing, and probably one of the coolest and most unique things about this Jeep. Okay, so my fifth and favorite thing about this Jeep that really makes it awesome to go camping, awesome to go off-roading, is this back seat. I know that sounds silly, but you gotta see how cool these back seats are. So not only do they fold flat, but then they flip all the way up. And then you have all of this space. We'll walk around the back. You have all of this space now. That now you can see, you can throw a huge mattress, inflatable mattress back there, tons of stuff back there. Really, that's like the size of the same cargo space as like a short bed. So they become very utilitarian when you flip that back seat up. Super nice. So you can toss a bed back there, go camping, and sleep inside your Wagoneer. They're really cool. So I love that about it. It's a cool little feature. One that I didn't even know existed until we got this Jeep. And I was like, hey, we got to move that back seat. And then boom, it just folded out. It was really cool. So those are my 5 favorite things about this Jeep Wagoneer. This is probably my favorite truck that we've ever built, and my favorite truck by far that we've ever given away. This thing is so cool and so fun to drive. I wish I could keep it for myself. I keep saying that, like this giveaway that we're doing right now, we're giving this truck away, and it's the hardest one for me because I want this one for myself. This would be the truck that I would keep. But thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Tune back in and we'll have more content, more giveaways, more cool stuff to see. And if you feel like doing it, hit the subscribe button. Thanks, guys. See you later.